This is Pat Walker at MissionWinners.com doing a video review of the top groups and the top stocks in those groups. This is a screen that I developed, and I was in the beta test group for the original Daily Graphs Online product years ago, so we know how to noodle around and maximize our searches. And again, it's a fact, it's not an opinion. Leading groups produce leading stocks. I'm going to just show you some of our criteria right here. I'm going to slide this into the window. We look for stocks that have good earnings and or great sales, leading groups and sectors. Look for key price and volume relationships. We like positive earnings estimates. So we're going to go through and look at some of these right here. Here's the number one stock in the number one group. What's the number one group? Biotechnology. You can see this lifted off a little bit. By the way, last quarter's earnings were up 126%. You can see where it lifted off of there. This little channel right here, picking up. Number two stock, Amgen. By the way, you can say, Pat, how do you sort this? I take my custom screen and I sort it by, I'll put variables in there, but it's done by industry group rank on this screen, percent off high. Leading groups and the leading stocks in those groups. Number two stock is Amgen. Amgen, by the way, doesn't have any earnings or sales growth this last quarter, but it's in a leading group. Leading groups, leading stocks. Number three, PRNB, Principia. What do we have with Principia? Again, it's a biotechnology stock. They don't have any earnings, believe it or not. They don't have any earnings last quarter. They lost 93 cents a share. But the chart lifted off. Just want to point it out to you. I'll pause and say this. Please just be careful with biotechnology stocks. Know if there's big news coming, a report of some sort. It's great when it works, but it can really wreck you too. Biotechnology can be hazardous to your health. How about that? Here's another stock on the list, AMRN. AMRN looks nice right here, just kind of lifting up. You can see the volumes picking up. One slight negative is this is wedging up right here, okay? And that is a potential problem on AMRN. You can say, well, what about the numbers? Good earnings and sales, up 117% earnings, 103% increase in sales. So we like that. Ironwood, right here, IRWD. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Ironwood, biotechnology, looks good. It's got good numbers, grinding up. But is there any entry in here? Not really, but I want to show you something here. Here's the monthly, but here's the weekly. Possibly some tops going across there. Maybe it'll form a handle. We'll have to watch it and see. Is there a low-risk entry here? No, there's not. So just doing a recap for us. PCRX, all right? PCRX is in the biotechnology group, and PCRX, it's Pakira Biosciences. I guess that's how we pronounce it. I'll show you something here kind of neat. This pattern right here. Longer base going in there, possibly. Something to take into consideration. Perhaps it'll lift across these tops. But again, it's biotechnology. Just be cognizant of that. ARWR. Biotechnology, as I have noted, could form a little shelf right here and take off. Here's the weekly for you. So you can see, and you can say, well, it's extended here. And you're exactly right. Share this with you. It's risky buying stocks that are extended from a base. Just be aware of that, okay? I think that's really important. REPH, Recro. How about that? Recro Pharma. Nice base right here on REPH, as you can see. Just a nice shelf. I like the price-volume relationships on it. Recro. And again, this is biotechnology. You can say, well, Pat, what about, are there any numbers with this? I'll just share this with you. Doesn't have earnings growth. Most of the biotechnologies don't, but it's got good revenue growth, up 38%. And again, it's biotechnology. You can see this little shelf right here. Horizon Pharmaceuticals, all right? Horizon Therapies, to be specific, pulled back a little bit on Friday, which is always kind of interesting when the group was really strong and this sucker pulled back on pretty decent volume on Friday, all right? So we'll have to watch this and see. Let me make sure we got that right. There we go. I'm sorry. I'm sitting there looking and going, That's not the chart I was looking at before. Okay, good. That's better. Picked up on volume. There we go. See that? I'm going to do something. You can say, I can't see the volume. Here's a great tactic for all of you. Enlarge the chart. Take that one big volume bar out, and then you got a better view for it. So just for what it's worth, let's continue on. Biogen, B-I-I-B. And you can say, well, Patrick, what's going on with that right there? I'll just tell you this right now. On Biogen, they had earnings. They had earnings there. This, by the way, is a great lesson for everybody. It's like, buy that earnings, man. You buy that gap up right up here at around 311, 310, 311, and it closes at 282. Hey, that's going to leave a mark. He said, well, yeah, but it came back. Folks, when you buy right there at the open and it does this, do you know the future? I haven't met anybody that does. Okay? So just be aware of that. Regeneron, grinding on up. That looks nice. Just a steady grind. Just want to show it to you. It's in the top group. And again, I always sort it by industry group rank first, percent off high second. So here's the next one for us. Sorry about that. I had a text come through. ASML, lifting off nicely. It's too extended for any entry here, though, okay? Just want to share that with you. Too extended. Looks good. Looks good. It's in the top group. ENTG, Integris. Nice base right here. ENTG. Doesn't really have any numbers, but again, a couple of our filters. It's in the top 10 groups. If it's not in the top 10 groups, I will tell you this. I want either last quarter's earnings up 40% or higher, or the average of the last 2 quarters sales up 45% or higher. 40% earnings. Again, stocks that are not in the top 10 groups, I want either great earnings and or great sales. Don't need both, but one or the other. All right, there's Integris. Teradyne. Teradyne slowly grinding on up right here. As you can see, looks good. Lifted off on Friday, and we'll just double check. No big news on it, just looks good. Form factors picking up. And again, leading groups and leading stocks. That's what we look for. This one doesn't have, I got to tell you this one doesn't have earnings, all right? But it's in the top 10 groups. Lam Research. Now, this is intriguing. Look at this. In a strong market, this runs up and backs off on a pickup in volume. What does this bar tell you? Lesson for you. Tells you there's a seller up there. What does that mean? It needs to take out the highs of this bar on volume or form another short pattern before we'd be interested in it. We're in semiconductors. ICHR has been written up in Investors Daily, like this pattern right here, ICHR, and it doesn't have, I will tell you this, it doesn't have earnings or sales, but it's in the top 10 groups. It's just constructed right there. Ultra clean, intriguing, runs up, backs off, runs off the highs, breaks above these tops. Look at that. The high on this bar is good analysis, 2380. The high on this bar, 2374. It pushed above those tops, folks. Normally in a good market, it should go. What's that tell you? There's a seller up there. Maybe it'll form a pattern for a couple more days and then it'll take off. We'll see. Applied Materials is lifting off, but there's no real entry on that. Fabrinet, FN. You can say, okay, where are we at with this? Fabrinet, this is contract manufacturing, electronics. Picked up, but there was buys here, but it really wasn't heavy volume. All right, there was good volume on this bar. Is there really any entry on this? No, they're not. Jabil's picking up. JBL, we're about done here. JBL, nothing to really do with it. Synex, it's picking up, but is there a long base entry here? No, there's not. And then we do IAAI. IAA. I was thinking of another old ticker symbol. Going up, but there's no real spot here. Bottom line is this, folks. Here's a fact for you. I'm going to put this in the window again for you. And again, I've been doing this since 1986. So, there's a few things you put together. Things we look for. We like leading groups, the leading stocks in those groups, not junk. Or we want the stocks, or we like stocks that are in leading groups and they do have great earnings and or great sales. Focus on that and you will dramatically increase your investing results and turn off the noise. And I thank you very much.